Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of my podcast. I'm Magda, and today I invite you to listen to an episode that is, a bit different yet somewhat similar. I can't help but chuckle a bit because today we are diving into a hot topic, one that stops many of us in our tracks and stirs up all sorts of emotions, sometimes even extreme ones. And yes, we are talking about in-laws. I don't know, like always, how should I title this podcast? So maybe we should call it Everything We Don't Know About Relationships with In-Laws, or How It Really Is. Okay, let's go with that and see where it takes us. So, for a good start on a regular day, let's dive into in-laws and everything we don't know about our relationships with them. So, straight to the point. Our first family system starts with our mom and dad, our family in origin. Sometimes it includes our siblings too. Now, if we grow up in a home where there is order, and by order, I mean where mom and dad are adults and mature, we can be children. There is a space for our childhood, for us to simply be kids. In such an ordered family home, there comes a natural moment during our maturation when we start to move away and detach from our family of origin. We step into the world as adults to realize our own lives and potentials. In other words, we leave the nest to live our lives. We have received enough from mom and dad, and feeling full and satisfied, we head out to pursue our potentials. As we leave the nest and step into adulthood, we create a new family system, one that becomes the most important for us because it is the one we have founded. So, when we step into our adulthood and move away, we detach from our family of origin. This doesn't mean we stop respecting them or caring about them. No, we simply build our own autonomy and our own family system. We find a partner, we create a shared space, and perhaps we have children. We have children together, we have common pets, we have common plans, we have common loans, whatever it is, we create a new family system. And looking at the systemic hierarchy, this new family system absolutely naturally becomes the most important for us. Your partner, your child, the business you have together, the houses you have together, the apartment you have together, they become the most important thing to you. Why? Because they were founded by you. The family of origin, then, in this rank of importance, recedes a little into the background, to the second place, which again doesn't mean that you don't respect them. It doesn't mean that you don't give a damn about them. No, simply put, we as adults, for each of us, our lives should be the most important topic. Your life should be the most important topic for you, a healthy adult. But this can only happen when we had time to grow up, to mature, to take advantage of the closeness with our parents, and then to go out into our lives and to untangle ourselves in a healthy, beautiful, and completely natural way. This doesn't happen to everyone, my dear. Not everyone has this moment of creating their own autonomy in life. Not all of us have a moment of coming out to adulthood. Not all of us have the moment to create our own system and be fully in this system. Why? Because If in our family home, in our home of origin, there were mixed functions with the caregivers, or one of the caregivers was absent and had to be made up for, or there was dysfunction in our family home, or there were a lot of unseen, unnamed traumas, a lot of losses, perhaps. We very often lost opportunities there. We didn't have a chance to grow up, to find our autonomy, and to go on to pursue our adult life, detaching ourselves from our family of origin, untying ourselves from this mother and father. And in such scenarios where there was dysfunction in our family home, or there were mixed roles, mixed functions, in these scenarios where we were in many overburdens as children. It may be that despite your age, despite the fact that you are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, you are still in many dependencies with your mom, with your dad, and this causes that you cannot fully either create or commit to your own self-created family, your own self-created family system. And this is a very important thought. First, the most important ones, because partnership and then a good relationship with in-laws can only go where there are two in the partnership and where the in-laws are really in-laws, not also partners. I will explain what it's all about in a moment. Most often, the problem with in-laws is about the mother. What does it mean? This means that we most often look at scenarios where the son is the mother's partner or the daughter is the mother's partner. I talk a lot with my mom about this, with my friends, and I know it also from observation. Several times I heard this sentence from my friends, mostly women, but not only. For example, it is an inner sentence from men that works with women. My wife spends time with her mother over and over again, or my wife or my girlfriend arranges things with her mom, not with me. My girlfriend or my wife, she chose clothes for our child with her mom, not me. I feel left out. I feel like my girlfriend, wife is in partnership with her mom, not me. Conversely, I heard exactly the same from women. My husband, my boyfriend prefers dinner from his mom to mine. My husband goes to my mother's house for dinner every day. My husband talks to his mother several times a day. Or my husband or boyfriend visits his mother every day. Or my boyfriend visits his mother every week. Or my boyfriend is in his first partnership with his mom. I feel like the third. She feels more like a lover. She feels more like the one he comes to for the night, or like the one with whom she simply has children. So, very often, not to say for most of us, the topic is the mother. And now I'm going to share with you these most important, most common dynamics. And also, these are the dynamics that often appear on the subject of in-laws. And the biggest dynamic, the biggest subpoint is the anchored umbilical cord. So this is a bit of what I was talking about a moment ago, because an anchored umbilical cord in adult life with parents results from something. I will talk more about that in a moment. So, what is at the very beginning? We know very well whether there are two or more people in our partnership. We feel it with all our being. Are there two people in our partnership? Is there anyone else in this partnership? And now it is very often the case in this relationship with the in-laws that we have the feeling that the mother-in-law, for example, belongs to the partnership. And then we have a sense of a triangle. And this is a very adequate feeling. We have a sense of a triangle in the relationship. And this is what I said a moment ago. This is men who said, my wife goes everywhere with her mother. My wife asks her mother about everything. Or my wife or girlfriend arranges everything with her mother. Or my boyfriend eats dinner at his mother's every day. So, the first question I would like to leave you with is, how many of you are in a relationship? How many of you are in a relationship with two or more people? Do your parents or your partner's parents also belong to the relationship? You name it. First, answer this question at all. What is the aftermath of an anchored umbilical cord? Why do we have an anchored umbilical cord from our parents, even though we are adults? And now I'm going to share with you some of the most common examples of why we have an anchored umbilical cord for adult life from our parents. I will start with men, although here it works very similarly with both men and women. First of all, if as a boy you had to be your mother's partner because your dad was not there. For example, your dad was physically absent or your dad was mentally absent. And if you had to be your mother's partner, then you can still stand in this partner function as an adult. And exactly the same applies to a woman. If you, dear women, had to replace your dad at home, and if you were a bit of a partner to your mother, then you can continue to play the same role in your adult life. Later in adulthood, you can be a bit of your mother's partner, and this is such a common story. I mean, there is a lot of it. I would say that at least 3/4 of society are partners of their mothers. Not dads, but moms above all. Why do we still have an anchored umbilical cord from our parents? When else? So very often we have an anchored umbilical cord where we had to save our mother as children. We had to guard her emotional condition. And again, this applies to boys and girls, men and women. If you, dear men, if you, dear women, had to guard your mother's emotionality, you had to save your mother from various situations. And this was because your dad was violent, because she had a difficult life, because, I don't know, she lost her job again and again, and because she had recurrent depressive states. And you saved your mother. And we as children do it automatically. It's not a matter of whims. We just do it automatically because we see that our parent is in poor shape. And when we see that our parent is in poor shape, we want to do everything to get them up to the best possible condition. Why? Because from the biological level, we think that we will be taken care of more, that we will make a parent who will take better care of us, that we will make a parent who will see us more and who will love us. When a parent is in a good physical and mental condition, we as children, we have the impression that we will be safer. So, if we had to save our mother, if we had to guard her emotionality, if we had to make up for her partner, we may not have the umbilical cord cut off for adult life at all. We can be vigilant towards her all the time, taking care of her, giving back for her difficult life or for her difficult partnership. We can be in the movement of our partner all the time. We can be in the movement of this mother's lifeguard all the time. And now, if we are in the movement of a mother's rescuer, if we were in the movement of giving her back for this difficult life, if we are in the movement of constantly taking care of her, exactly as we were when we were children, then we don't have the umbilical cord cut. We are then in relation to this mother all the time, from the same place we were from when we were children. So then this mother is the most important topic for us. It is her well-being that is the most important topic for us. It is saving her that is the most important topic for us. And this is where such stories appear. That man, a husband, one or another, a wife, have the impression that, damn, this husband of mine is with his mother all the time. This wife of mine is with her mother all the time, and I feel useless. I feel like the third in this relationship, who is even in a partner relationship with whom, where there is an energy triangle in the partnership. It will be very, very difficult. There will be a lot of sense of injustice. There will be a lot of anger, and there will be awakening rivalry. But now, speaking of this competition, I would like to show you something. I heard, especially from women, a lot of sentences like, Magda, I have the feeling that, for example, my partner, my boyfriend, is more of his mother's partner than mine. So there is this mom who is taking your husband away from you. Your mother-in-law who takes your husband away from you. And you think, what can be done here? What am I supposed to do about it? And very, very often, women also add that they hate her. So you hate this mother-in-law. She takes your husband away from you. Now, I would like to show you something, because it's not really about her. It's not her you are mad at. In fact, you are angry with him for allowing himself to be treated by his mother as a partner. In fact, you are angry with him for not setting boundaries for his mother, for not being able to get away from her and create autonomy with you, a real new family system with you. In other words, what really annoys you is the fact that he has one foot with you and as a partner, and the other foot with his mother as a partner. And now a rivalry arises between you and his mother. Like, you can imagine it. Imagine figurines. Your husband or boyfriend is standing in the middle. You are on one side, you stand on one side of this husband, right? On the other side of this husband or boyfriend stands his mother. So this is already information that his mother is in a partner position. It doesn't take the place of the mother, but stands in the partner place. But beware, your husband or boyfriend allows her to do it. Your husband is also involved in creating this dynamic with her. He doesn't set a limit here. He doesn't set boundaries, making it clear who is his partner and who is his mother. And now, why a woman? Why you? Yes? You often say, I hate his mom. I hate his mom because she takes him away from me. Let's go back to this picture. In the middle, there is a husband or boyfriend, and on the sides, there are two women. You, his wife, and his mother. It is as if you were talking to each other through him. He's mine, no, he's mine, no, he's mine, no, he's mine. And I will ask, where is he? Where is your husband? Where is your boyfriend in this scenario? Is he active? Is he passive? In this scenario, where the daughter-in-law argues with the mother-in-law about her son, about her husband, the man is treated like a puppet. And in fact, it is the man who has a move to make here. What move? Such as to clearly indicate who belongs to his new family system as his wife, and who is his mother and will always be his mother. So now you might ask, dear women, what am I allowed to do here? What can I do when my husband or my boyfriend is in partnership more with his mother than with me? So, yes, it is allowed to talk. It's always allowed to talk. You can always say from the message, I don't feel treated like your wife. It's hard for me in a relationship where, for example, every day we eat dinner at your mother's. So, yes, you are always allowed to talk. However, I would really like you to remember that anger at your mother-in-laws is actually anger at your husband and his immaturity. Because in these dynamics, listen, these men standing between their mother and wife are little boys. These are the dynamics of little boys who can't say, stop, enough. This is my wife, this is my girlfriend, I chose her, and you, mom, you are my mom. And now, perhaps the most uncomfortable thing is that it's this man, your husband, your boyfriend, who has to make the decision to get off his mom's umbilical cord, and you won't do it for him. Are you really going to compete with his mom for him? It's as if two females, two lovers, were fighting for each other. No, so here you need to activate a man who will do the work on getting off his mother's umbilical cord. But be careful, because this is a very big decision for this man. Because in fact, the decision to get away from your mom will be a decision to work with trauma. Because I remind you of what I said earlier, why there was no umbilical cord disconnection. Because perhaps this husband or this boyfriend of yours was in huge over responsibility when he was a child, and he can't imagine what it will be like to leave his mother now if he has been with her for 30 or 40 years. Maybe he had to save her from great oppression when he was a little. Or maybe he and his mother experienced a nightmare because, for example, that was, I don't know, an alcoholic or a substance abuser, right? And a little boy, your husband, your boyfriend, stayed with that mom at the time. He saved that mom. He was by that mom. So, in fact, the decision to stop being our mom's or our dad's partner is a huge decision to start working on ourselves, to start working on childhood trauma, in fact. Because why did we bond so tightly with these parents? Why couldn't we fully live our family home? Why have we been connected by all these traits, dependencies, connected further into adult life, despite the fact that we supposedly create our own lives on the side? But, right, in fact, we are connected by traits to our mom or dad all the time. And then for this new family, for this new partnership, for this new family system that we have created and co-built, how much can we be present? 50%, 40%, 60%, 70%? Well, it depends on the situation, right? Because we are not fully present. We are not fully there. Because we are still in many difficult dependencies with our first family system, from which we couldn't freely live to go build our lives further, for various reasons. And here I will repeat once again that, in fact, our relationship with in-laws is most often not about in-laws at all. Because what is in the point that binds you and your in-laws? your partner, your boyfriend, your husband. Your relationship with your in-laws is based on the relationship your husband has with his parents. Your relationship with your in-laws is based on the relationship your wife with her parents. In fact, it's hard to talk about something like our relationship with in-laws because our relationship with in-laws is always based on our husband, boyfriend, partner, and our wife, girlfriend, etc. You could say that this husband and this wife are a kind of link between you and his parents, between you and her parents, and your relationship with his parents, your relationship with her parents is never separated from your partner relationship, and it is never separated from how your husband or your wife is in contact with their parents. That's why I said that most often in our relationship with our in-laws, it's not about the in-laws. It's about what our partnership looks like and who is whose partner here. I will talk about it later that our relationship with our in-laws is based on our own relationship with our parents and about our own adulthood and our respect for the systemic hierarchy. And now I will dwell on it a bit. Sometimes it happens that we have a problem with the in-laws for what these in-laws allegedly did to our partners. We have a problem with in-laws because we heard a story from our partner that his parents were very difficult when he or she was a little. We have a problem with in-laws because we heard a story from our partner that her or him parents were very difficult when she or he was little. And now, who are we here? Where do we put ourselves if we have a problem with our in-laws and we hate these in-laws? Do we not like these in-laws because they were bad to my husband, my boyfriend, when he was a little boy? Because they were bad to my wife, my girlfriend, when she was a little girl? Who do you think you are? Where do you put yourself here? In the place of God, who will recover justice for his wife and recover justice for his husband? For the past, do you put yourself in the place of lifeguard who suggests that your wife or husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend is unable to cope with past injuries? And she is unable to cope with the dynamics in which she now lives with her parents? Is this your place to occupy at all? To say things like, your parents were terrible when you were little. Are you even allowed to say such sentences? Isn't it fully a matter and a wound to your wife or your husband? Yes, if your wife, girlfriend or husband, boyfriend wants to tell you something from their childhood, which, by the way, is highly prized and very important, then yes, of course, you are allowed to listen to it. You are allowed to be there. You are allowed to sit with it. But to judge, to put yourself as the bodyguard of your wife, of your husband, is this the place, your place in this relationship? It is, listen, so important to watch your place. And here I would like to deepen this topic even more, because we very often do not recognize at all the family from which our husband, boyfriend comes, or the family from which our wife or girlfriend comes. We claim to love our boyfriend, we claim to love our wife or girlfriend, but we don't respect and recognize the family from which she comes, and we don't accept the family from which he comes. And now, what is very, very important, that if you don't respect those who stand, metaphorically speaking, behind your husband, behind your wife, then you don't respect her and you don't respect him either. because you can't respect your husband, respect your wife, without respecting what she is made of and what he is made of. They grow up on it, they are from it. It's the same like, how can you say, I love this apple tree, but I hate the ground of which it grows? Do you see the nonsense of this sentence? If you don't believe me, you can conduct such an experiment at your own risk. You can stand in front of your partner, look into her eyes or his eyes, and say, I love you very much, but I despise your family. See what happens. Our conscience, our deep conscience, doesn't allow us to listen to someone despising our family in such a way. It doesn't allow us to listen to how someone does not respect our family in such a way. This is simply too much. And I would like to share with you such a principle, which was one of the most important in my past partnership. We were together for 8 years, so even though I was at the moment when I barely talked about the situation in my family home because I idolized everything in my head. But where I said something out loud about my experiences, or he said something about his experiences, where he talked about the difficult behaviors, for example, of his mom from the past, or me, how many times I was at school at some conventions and I told him, for example, various things that came to me, difficult things also from the past. The principle was, and we stuck to it, and I to him, he to me, that we never, and I emphasize this word clearly, never allowed ourselves to say anything about my parents or his parents to each other, right? Considering if, for example, he talked about something difficult from the past, something that came to him, then I never gave myself the right to say anything and judge his parents in any way. And you wonder why? Because, for example, my potential partner is an adult and he can handle it on his own. My potential partner is an adult and he will know how to take care of his wounds with his parents. This is not a kindergarten for us to occupy the pages. So we can listen to our partner and he or she can listen to me when, for example, I also want to talk something related to my mother or my father. But here we need deep respect for the fact that I'm one of these people from my mom and from my dad, and he is one of those people from his mother and his father, and I have nothing to do with it. Just like he or my potential boyfriend has nothing to do with my relationship with my mother or with my father. I'm an adult and this is my relationship with my parents. It was past and present, and for example, my partner, future boyfriend, is an adult and it is his relationship with his parents, past and present. When we get into these accusations, well, yes, because your parents this, it is us who completely live the partner dependence and enter the dependence of God, the judge, the rescuer, the one who enforces justice in some way. Because when we say, well, yes, because your mom, your dad this, your father that, we are the ones who are winding up these childhood wounds of our partner. And our partner needs time to sit and deal with these wounds. And I guarantee you that they will manage because they are adults. And here a very important question arises, which is what is really my topic with my partner's parents, and what are the topics of my partner with their parents that I push myself into? Can you feel it? For example, if your partner had a fight with his parents. Is this your topic with his parents, or is it his topic with his parents? If your partner has a grudge against his mom, or promised to do something, didn't do it, or whatever, is that your topic with his mom, or is it his topic with his mom? And other key questions: what is my topic with my potential partner's parents? And what is the subject of the fact that my partner doesn't set boundaries for their mom, for their parents? And this is about what I said before, that our relationship with in loves is based on our partner, on the relationship he has with their parents. For example, if your in-laws come into your apartment when they want, what is the topic? What the hell is this topic? Is this your topic with this in-laws, or is this the subject of your partner not setting boundaries for their own parents, for their own mom, for their own dad? Look how much had to happen. See how many boundaries had to be not set earlier so that your in-laws would feel that they can enter your apartment whenever they want. And here we could immediately take up the topic, because if the in-laws feel that they can enter the apartment whenever they want, check who we feel we can enter whenever we want without notice: to the child's room. So then I would immediately ask the question if these are, for example, your partner's parents. Doesn't your partner behave like a teenager towards these parents? Or isn't your partner acting like a teenager towards these parents? If, for example, your potential partner, or your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, brings dinner from his mother 3 times a week, so what is the topic? Is this your topic with his mom, or is this his topic with the fact that he can't set a boundary for his mother, with the fact that he may not be able to disappoint her expectations, that he will take another dinner this week, so he is dependent on a small child? If, for example, your partner is determining the appearance of your child's room with his mom, what is the topic? Is this your topic with his mom, or is it the main theme of your potential partner's inability to set boundaries for his mom, and he chooses her as his main partner for life? If, for example, your partner allows his mother to get drunk at the family table, or if your mother-in-law starts judging you in any way, gossiping or criticizing, whose topic is it? Is this your topic that you have to defend it? Is it his topic that he has to stand up to his adulthood here? Perhaps to set a boundary, perhaps to some clear, decisive expression, and perhaps to leave this house at all. What is this topic? If the mother-in-law says, for example, bad about daughter-in-law, what is this topic? Who allows a mother-in-law to speak ill of her daughter-in-law? Who can't draft the line? Where is the partner? Where is boyfriend? Where is girlfriend or wife? What the daughter-in-law is supposed to invite her mother-in-law to a solo in front of the block, or the other way around? Is the mother-in-law supposed to invite her daughter-in-law to a solo? Where there is a husband who will say, stop, I have chosen this woman, I will spend the rest of my life with this woman. Either you accept this mom as she is and you are happy about it with me, or if you can't, I won't be able, for example, to come to you, or I won't be able to tell you about what we do together as a couple. Border not being presented by his daughter-in-law. In general, I will dwell on this for a moment. Imagine this situation. We are in the kitchen. his daughter-in-law and son came to his mother. And his mother, so her mother-in-law, makes comments to daughter-in-law, for example, that she looks bad or that her son could have made a better choice. And imagine a situation where this woman defends herself and her husband, that is the son of this mother, listens to all this next to him and doesn't react. My son could have made a better choice. He doesn't react to this. Wake up, my dears, because these relationships are about us as children of our parents, because it is up to you, dear man, in this situation to say, Mom, I don't want you to talk like that. It's up to you, dear man, because your wife won't fight with your mom in the kitchen. And these are the questions that I encourage you to come back to and ask yourself these questions on an ongoing basis. So, is it about my relationship with his mom or with his dad? Is it about my relationship with her mom, with her dad? But is it about her relationship with her parents, about his relationship with his parents? What am I forcing myself into? Is this my business at all? And I would like to tell you about another important dynamic that works with in-laws. Namely, dear in-laws always put us to our own topics from the relationship with our parents. We always choose partners from the unaware field that are right for us. Those who will illuminate our wounds, illuminate our untouched topics. Those who will put us to work on ourselves. This means that we choose our partner and their family system, which will also continue to illuminate our wounds. So, you have a problem with your in-laws? Great, because there is a lot of information waiting for you there. There are really many letters waiting for you to pick up. First of all, in-laws show whether we respect our parents. They really show it, because if we don't respect our parents, we won't have a problem with disrespecting our in-laws. We may even feel better than our in-laws, just as we feel better than our parents, or as we feel more competent in life than our parents. We will feel exactly the same way with our in-laws. So this is the first topic that can stand out for us. Do you not feel better? And this is a disorder of the systemic hierarchy. We move on. Many in-laws can also put us in a similar dynamic that prevailed in our family home. For example, the mother-in-law calls her daughter-in-law to tell her son something. So she doesn't call her son, but calls her daughter-in-law to tell her to pass something on. And here you can confidently ask yourself where I was a carrier pigeon before, because I know it from somewhere. If, for example, your in-laws are always arguing about what you are going for the holidays, what you are going to dinner, what you're going to do for the weekend, what are always arguing, ask yourself what it puts me into, what it reminds me of, where I used to live under pressure, under the pressure of arguments, under the pressure of uncertainty, where I used to experience such shouting, such beatings, and just that everyone gets meat stuck in their throats during this dinner, where I experienced it before, or where I previously also experienced such physical sensations, which, for example, they come to me when I hear these in-laws eating each other all the time. Where have I experienced this before? We move on with our in-laws. Our wound from the family home can also flare up. So, for example, if our main wound in the family home was The wound of abandonment, we may feel just as abandoned or rejected by our in-laws. If our main wounds was the wound of injustice, we may feel treated just as unfairly by our in-laws. So we may be able to burn up the wounds that worked in our childhood in this way. In-laws can also remind you of the difficult qualities of your parents, especially if we cut ourselves off from our parents, not even sitting down to talk about those wounds that worked in childhood. We didn't even process it but by our own. So, for example, your dad punished with silence, or your mom manipulated, and if you cut yourself off from that mother, you cut yourself off from this mother, you cut yourself off from your dad, without sitting down with this topic at all, without healing this topic at all. It is the mother-in-law who can come now as a reminder of that mom of yours, and she can punish you with silence just like your mother used to do. He, for example, your father-in-law, can manipulate just like your mother used to do. If, for example, your dad was aggressive, violent, and you cut him off, or simply never took care of it and didn't take care of healing this topic, then by all means, your father-in-law or mother-in-law can remind you of this feature of your dad, of these qualities of your dad. Who's putting you on this topic so that you can finally take care of it and finally take care of it so that you can finally heal it and finally heal it in yourself. Further, we may want to take from our in-laws, and this is also another dynamic that works with our in-laws. We may want to take from our in-laws what we didn't get from our parents. In other words, we can put our father-in-law and mother-in-law as foster parents, as those who will give us back and make up for this mom, for this dad. In other words, we can say such an adoptive dad, such an adoptive mother. And here I would like to point out, because there is also a lot of it. So I would like to draw your attention to one of very important thing. What role do we then play in relation to our husband, boyfriend, or wife, girlfriend? For example, if we treat our husband's parents as our parents, then who are you to your husband? You are sister. If you treat your wife's parents as your mommy and daddy, then who are you to your wife? Not a husband, but a brother. So then who are we to each other? With a partner. But this is a point to keep an eye on. Do I remember that these are not my parents, but my husband's parents? That they were not my parents, but my wife's parents? Yes, I belong to this system now, but they are still not my parents. It is still not my family of origin, but the family of origin of my husband or of my wife. Sometimes it happens that we feel treated by our in-laws as if we were their children. That they have so much heart for us that they would simply open the heavens to us. It is often the case that in-laws treat us as their children, where they actually lost a child themselves. For example, there was a miscarriage, there was the loss of a child, and they can say from the field of the unconscious look for this lost child and join us to the system as we would be the child they lost. It is then our job, our role, dear ones, always to watch our place in it. So, how much do I feel that I, as my husband's wife, are allowed to take from these in loves? And remembering that they are not my parents. How much do I feel that I'm allowed to take from them? How much do I feel that I'm allowed to take from my in laws as me, as the husband of my wife? And where will I feel like their next child? And finally, at the very end, I would like to talk about secondary benefits. Many of you want and don't want to be close to our in laws. She wants and doesn't want to be close to her partner's parents. The truth is, we want to have a sense of our new family system, but thanks to the fact that we live with our in laws, we can save, for example, for a house, not an apartment. It's good if we have curate meatballs for a week. Convenient because they can always take care of the children. You can always ask them to take the kids for the weekend. So many of us, despite the fact that we claim that these in laws are too close, that they interfere too much, that they pry their noses, many of us agree to it because the secondary benefits are big, because they will take care of the children, because they will cook dinner, because they will give a roof over their heads, right? Honestly, it is better to buy a smaller apartment than to create so many dependencies with your in-laws or with your parents. For example, living with them under the same roof, you have to understand that there is no full adulthood. There are such basic rules. There is no full adulthood as long as you live on your parents' money, and there is no healthy autonomy, mature relationship with your in-laws. So as long as we convert them into profitability, this is what it is all about, that we very often create a lot of different, strange, sometimes twist dependencies in these relationships with our parents or our in-laws. And we say they are too close. But you also created that they are so close. You allow it to. So here is very important to look at whether I don't have secondary benefits from the fact that these in-laws are so close, from the fact that these in-laws come into our house when they want to, that they clean out our drawers, that they bring these dinners a week ahead cured in jars. Do I buy any chance to? I don't have secondary benefits from it, from the fact that they are so close. I complain about it, but I also have secondary benefits from it. So I'm a bit comfortable with it. So, what I wish you would remember at the end of this episode is that your relationship with your husband's parents is based on your husband and his relationship with his parents. Like your relationship with your wife's parents is based on your wife's relationship with her parents, on what boundaries your wife has in relation to these parents, and what we start to look at the relationship with the in-laws in this way. It turns out that no, it is not the in-laws who are bad, and not everything is the in-laws. There are many more dependencies at work here. It is worth answering the question after this podcast whether there are really two of us in a partner relationship. If not, it's worth talking about. And yes, getting out of a partner relationship with your parents is a big process. A really big process. because there you have to get in touch with childhood traumas. Because often this partner relationship with mom, with dad, was established at the level of childhood. And what I would like you to look at after this episode is whether there is really a clear distinction between what is my family system, the new one, built by me as an adult, what is my family system of origin, what is the family system of my husband's origin. Is there a distinction? Or maybe it is one big cauldron. And finally, the last thing to dwell on after this podcast is the question: what is my topic with my husband's parents? What is my topic with my wife's parents? And what is really the subject of my husband and his parents? The topic of my wife, my girlfriend with her parents. What is my topic with my husband's, my boyfriend's parents? And what is the topic of the lack of borders, boundaries that my wife, my girlfriend, my husband, or my boyfriend doesn't set for their parents? When you start to sit with all these topics, and then also with the question of what those in-laws reminded me of, what childhood wounds, what dynamics from the family home, what qualities of my mother, my father, then you will start to see this topic from a much bigger, broader, deeper perspective. The relationship with your in-laws should not affect the partnership at all, because your main social unit, your main system is you, him, your children and dogs, hamsters and your rabbits, her, your children, dogs and hamsters and rabbits, cats. This is your bubble. This is your system. If the relationship with your in-laws affects your partner relationship so much, affects your system, then it's time to stop, because it shouldn't have an impact. So, my dear listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode, and see you in the next one. Bye!